Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on replicating appointments within the iForgeAhead scheduling module. The concept of replicating or repeating appointments is a feature that allows you to create a single appointment and then tell iForgeAhead to repeat that appointment over and over into the future using a pattern that you specify. We'll get started by replicating this appointment here. I'm going to double click on it, which will take me to the appointment details screen. Before beginning to replicate, we'll want to look over the appointment detail information for the master appointment, the one that you're basing your replication off of, and make sure that all the information is just how you want it, not only for this original appointment, but for the ones going forward. I'm going to make one change to this appointment by clicking the Edit Pencil symbol. And what I'm going to do is simply change the type of this appointment from standard to tentative. Now this is optional, and at the end I'm going to explain why you might want to use this feature in some of your processes when you replicate certain appointments. Now that I have it just how I'd like it, I'm going to go over to the Action panel and click Repeat this appointment. That will take us to the replication screen where we give iForgeAhead the information it needs to repeat the appointment exactly how you'd like it. The first section here under number 1 is where you set the pattern, telling iForgeAhead how this appointment should be repeated. All of these controls work together. As you change one of your options here, the additional options below will change as well. You can have an appointment repeat weekly, which can be every single week, in which case you'd set it to 1, or every 6 weeks, every 5 weeks, etc. In addition, you can tell it which days of the week that appointment should repeat on. It's always checked automatically to the day of the week the original appointment was scheduled on, in this case Tuesday. But if you had a case where you needed an appointment to occur twice a week, for example on Tuesdays and Fridays of the weeks, you'd select additional days like that. The daily option allows you to repeat an appointment over and over again every one day, every other day, every third day, etc. using this control. And it also has the ability to exclude certain days down here. You might use this, for example, if you had an appointment that you needed to do every single day except not on weekends. In that case, you'd leave it set to daily and you'd check Saturday and Sunday as days to be excluded. The final option is monthly, which allows you to repeat the appointment every certain number of months on a specific day of the month. In this case it's saying day 6 because that's where the original appointment started, but it could be day 15 or the 18th or whatever day of the month you need. For our example, I'm going to set this appointment to recur every single week. So I'm going to select weekly and change this to every 1 week. I'm going to leave this to repeat only on Tuesdays. And now I can go over to the date range, or step number 2. This is where you specify simply how far out into the future the appointments will be copied. It's defaulting to 6 months out right now, which is something that you can change for your default in your schedule settings. You can change the default on any one recurring appointment using this control here. For our example, I'm going to have this appointment recur every week, but only through the end of December. So I'll come to December of 2011 and select the last day of the month. The final options that you can specify are under step 3, and this involves additional information that you can include on the future appointments that are created. In our case, all 3 of these are disabled, and whether they're disabled or you can work with them depends on the information that was in your original base appointment. For example, if our original appointment included an appointment note, this first option would be enabled, and we could select that checkbox if we want that specific note to be copied into the future appointments. The same is true for the other options, which involves horses scheduled and horse notes for horses scheduled. Once all of these options are set the way you'd like them, simply click the Create Appointments button in the lower right. When the system has finished creating the new appointments, it will refresh the screen and give you a message over here. It's telling us that there were 3 new appointments that have been scheduled. In addition, the note is telling us that it hit a conflict on a specific date. When there is a conflict for a new appointment with an appointment that already exists, the new appointment will be scheduled, but it'll inform you of the conflict here so you can check it out and make adjustments if you need to. I'm going to click OK here, and then we'll go back to the View Schedule to see our new appointments. We're returned to the schedule at the same time frame as our master appointment, which was December 6th. Since we repeated this every single week, I'm going to change to the month view so you can quickly see the new appointments. In the month view, we have our original appointment here on December 6th, and as we scroll down, you'll see that that appointment has been repeated every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. throughout the month of December. Now here on the 20th, you'll see the conflict because our new appointment goes from 10:30 to 1, and there was an existing appointment that started at 12:30. You can go into the week or daily view for this day and adjust those appointments as necessary. Now, coming back to why I changed the appointment type to tentative, that's a technique you might want to use in some cases where you're repeating an appointment to say that you definitely need to visit this client every 5 weeks, but you're kind of flexible on what day of the week or what time of the day you're going to go out there. Setting them to tentative before you replicate them gives you a visual reminder to confirm exactly what day and what time you'll actually do that appointment. And once you've confirmed that it's going to be at that time, or you've modified the time, you can change that appointment from tentative back to standard. Finally, I'd like to point out that once the new appointments have been created in your schedule, from that point on, iForgeAhead treats them each as an individual appointment. So any changes you make, such as editing or deleting an appointment that was part of a replicated series, will only affect that appointment that you're editing or deleting. That concludes this tutorial. Thank you very much.